Hello, comrades. It's Premier River, and I am up here watching a bulldozer do the jitterbug, or I don't know what that is, but in any event, it's jiggling back and forth. But we are up here by the border to our NATO and Soviet brothers, not our NATO brothers. Actually, we are near the NATO border too, I think, aren't we? Yeah, we're really not far from it, but in any event, here we are. We are about to complete our road. And I have been reading your comments after the last few days and wanted to take a moment and step back. I started to assign this construction of these things like we talked about in the last episode and watch time go by for a little bit. And I think right now I would like to stop everybody. Oops. Let's close these things. I would like to stop people from working on the steel mill. This guy's doing the road there. Right, so I guess let's go to each one of these constructions. I think that was the critical one to stop. Okay, this guy's not doing anything. And there's a reason. I've been thinking about it more. And I really, if you guys can't tell, want to get the steel mill up and going. Yep, this guy's not assigned anything. But let's leave him open for a second so we can zap back down here. And what I did was I went in here and looked and thought about it more and added up the cost. If we come to various industries, we don't have mechanical components researched yet, and it would be a wonderful thing to do to supplement the steel. But if we come over to the pricing that we have for stuff, and I figured out ahead of time, or between the episodes, that it's going to cost us something like 550 rubles. Let's just go with rubles. The price should be kind of similar, I would assume. And we would only get 679. If we got clothing going, we could get 2,600. Now, the clothes are not the greatest industry as industries go for, clothing industry. We need crops, which we already have, so that means we don't have to worry about like iron ore and and paying for all that kind of stuff. And though we don't get very many of them, we also don't need nearly as many people either. So if we set up a fabric factory and a clothing factory, we can get 1.2 clothes per day. Now, in the long run, we might want to set up 2 clothing factories per fabric factory, right? And the other thing, it was a suggestion that I think we can do with the crops. If we come back here, go to mod, and go to biofuel here, you can see that this would only take like 25 people. And I think all 3 of these would be very reasonable industries that we could build somewhat near here and have a little biofuel thing going, have clothing going that would get rid of 2 of our needs and also possibly give us an export. We could maybe even expand it. We might even be able to, I probably built, no, this is a modded one. So I could even like come off of here, say with the biofuel, if that would work out. And then maybe on the other side of the road, we do like a clothing industry, something along those lines. I think that would be a pretty reasonable thing for us to do. And given the number or the lack of the number of people that we have, I was also looking at that, of course, because I keep an eye on all of these things, because I am the supreme premier. At least I try to be some days. But I do want to thank you guys for your comments about, steel is awful expensive. That's the other thing. When we come in here and look at our loans, which we're going to have to deal with again, we're down to, 79 or 800,000 basically, 799, and it's going to cost us money to build these, but we would still, before we even got the steel built, which could cost us $400,000, and then we wouldn't have the coal and iron anyway, and then like building all of this stuff to support it, just to be able to build it, and then to build this, I think we're better off trying to get or stay out of a little bit of debt by getting to be a little bit more solvent in that sense. I think if we get a few more things to export. By the way, I do anticipate that we don't have hardly anybody who's working at our distillery at this point, relatively speaking. And as we get more and more people here, I think we were going to have to build another farm just to help take care of the distillery. right? Because this guy could use quite a bit of crops, 30 per hour. And so I could see us maybe even building another farm over in this area, or who knows where, anywhere around here. So, and I don't think it would be that expensive to add that other farm, and just sort of be a little bit more patient about getting to steel. The buildings that I'm suggesting here aren't overly steel intensive, and I think it would be kind of worth the wait. Okay, so having said all of that, let's see, what could we do? Let's start doing a biofuel, because that could get attached relatively quickly, right? So I think we'd start out maybe with the road off of here. Just kind of come straight off of that part. And then let's go back over to mods. Biofuel. It's a little bit awkward. I might have to leave it a little bit. Now, the other question is, are we going to be close enough for them to walk? Maybe we just don't worry about it and we get another bus stop going. All right, if we did this, let's just make sure that can attach via a factory connection, right? Yes. And then we would probably need a place to pick that up. I'm assuming there's a storage like tank in it, but just for the sake of future, right, we kind of always want to have some kind of, I think I would, but where's the road? I can't see. Yeah, I guess we'd put it like the way the road is. Just leave it far enough over here that, right, that we could do something like this. This is an Audi, that's an Audi, these two are innies. Yeah, so I guess if we ever wanted to put another one out here, we could. I think we might be messing with Lycov there, though, huh? What is in the way? Oh, building is in the way. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't cost any more to put them up in the air, and we could possibly get a road out there one day, or under there. All right, again, we wouldn't necessarily build that this minute, but let's get rid of this. I'll get a fresh gravel road. All right, let's commit to that, and let's go back and commit to this and pipe. All right, now the other thing is we're probably going to need more power over here, but I'm going to hold off on that a minute, because let's do something else to get this going. These guys should be completely done. Yes. So what I would like to do, well, actually, is two things. Let's take these people. All right, so we have these 3 dumpers. And I think I might even take a 4th one, but I would have to send that guy back to a road depot, which we do need to get a road depot closer. All right, so that I can give him a road assignment. All right, so I take these guys and take them off of going to all the way up there and start sending them back to this one. Oops, not there. Well, it doesn't matter. Right, so we'll get rid of this one. Unload gravel. And I want to tell them to wait just so that I know that they're backing up and causing problems, and that'll be good. Why are you not waiting at the other one? All right, so, you know what, I'll let you drop off since you're right there. All right, once he's empty, we'll give him... Get out of the store so we don't cause a problem. Or are you? No, but I think this is wrong. There we go. All right, so now he has Lycov House. He has Lycov House. Where are you at in your trip? Oh, you're not that far, so you can get Lycov House. Right. Now this guy is that guy. Okay. All right, so we'll wait for this guy to get all the way back, and I'll put him up here. Hopefully I'll remember why I have him open in 10 minutes or whatever, maybe even less. So we've switched our dumpers back to working over here, and then let's head back to our large construction office. And we're going to take this bulldozer, and we're going to take this, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Right, and then we're going to take this crane, put them on there. So then let's take all of the vehicles, and we're going to send them back to the other place, right? Crane. I think that's all of them. Yep. And what we'll try to do is I'll try to send that excavator back last. I can't see anything, but I did pretty well getting back over here. All right, so let's take this dumper. Having these big construction offices is nice. Right, and I don't know how much it'll help, but we'll send that excavator out of there last. And I think I got them all. All right, let's open up this, give it a minute. Oh, that's the large construction. Yeah, I think we'll take this mixer. Well, that's another question. Do we put all the mixers in one place? I think we probably will. The only thing here's the thing. If we bring this guy up here, when an assignment is fully completed, they automatically just appear back into their their home, which puts them real close to the concrete and all. So now something to talk about when it comes to this whole subject is we have this firehouse functioning and very little else, but I don't feel too bad because maybe the fact that we already have this firehouse functioning, I want to conduct a little test at some point where we take a look at this and see if it saves us money to purchase at $26 delivery cost versus the delivery cost over in the other area. So I think I want to, otherwise what we would do is just sort of abandon this. Now, we have this gravel storage that's sort of, we'll have all this ready to go for the future, I hope. And hopefully not too much of it burns down on us or anything, but I kind of like the idea of having the firehouse there. Now we do have this truck, which we should probably either send to the border or send over to here. So we've already got this guy sitting here, so why don't we send this guy just to export directly to the border, right? We'll come up here and tell him, why don't you go and unload, close that one. Unload when you get there, lumber. All right, so that should be better than a sharp stick in the eye. So now, speaking of exports, one lead in after another over here at Rivers YouTube channel. So we want to find, is this one of them? Yep. So instead of sending this guy to the NATO, why don't we send this one down this road? Now, I don't know if we'll keep an eye on them the whole way, but I would like to have him come there and unload anything and delete that stop, right? Let's go take a look. And so how are we doing here? Yeah, he's getting back in plenty of time. No need to shuffle more trucks over here. So we'll check. Did this guy get to where he's going? No, not yet. Takes him a while to get that whole distance, especially on the 1x speed. I've been spending a fair amount of times on the 2x speed, unless I'm talking during YouTube, and then I take it down to the 1x, just because there's just a lot of shuffling people back and forth. So we don't really need that open in our view, and this will be our new main thing once some people get there, right? So, now do we have much gravel here? Yeah, 128. That's not much, but it's enough that we can get this assigned ASAP, right? And then we'll start working on getting this going. And then, so let's keep designing stuff because that's fun anyway. All right, so I'm thinking we might just need to get rid of this power line that's there, though that will stop our, yeah, so let's hold off on that if we can. And if we're going to give up on the bus stop thing, then maybe we just stay on this side, give the road a little bit of a buffer anyway. And then maybe we can start off with a bus stop over here. All right, small bus platform. Well, we'd probably want it. So it's I'll put the people side on this side. Let's go a little further back so we don't cause traffic jams. All right, so that'll be that. And then what I'm thinking of is like a single fabric factory, but I want to do this in a way that this bus stop can get people there without, because I would like to connect these things. Yeah, we're pretty close to the farm. Do we want, I'm just trying to think ahead as we go here. Not mod, but do they put the clothing in here? That would be kind of nice. No, they don't really consider it. You know, do we want another grain silo? I mean, if we did, what I would say them. Yeah, I'm thinking we just have the grain dropped off by truck. But then again, the silo, is that really necessary? I don't think we're going to be pumping so much through here. And this farm is relatively close. I think we're just going to like forego this because these are rather expensive and take a while to build. So let's see how we could do a fabric factory and still have people be able to get to. Yeah, if we did something like this, right, I could put 2 or 3 clothing factories. I think 2 would be good. And then we could have an output warehouse. Yeah, maybe we stay over this way a little bit. Yeah, if I come over this way, I could put one on the other side and people could walk around, and then we'd even maybe want to come over further this way. Yeah, here's what I'm thinking. I'm just worried about like people being able to walk there. So if we did something like this, we could get our road. I don't want to mess them up doing their road projects. We'll just put dirt roads in for the moment. Like we can have a road coming out this way, just that, you know, because it needs a road for the corn. It leaves us the possibility of putting a silo over here if we really need it. And then we can come back over to various industries, clothing factory. Right, and if we put this one here, say, can't see because of these helping things that don't really help me that much anymore these days. Right, and then this guy could go like over here. Right, and that gives us footpaths, and I think the roads make at least a pretty good degree of sense. Now, what do we need? We need chemicals in these, right? Or no, we just need the fabric, so that's good, and people. This is the one we'll need the chemicals to. Yeah, so if we decided down the road, let's just look at this. Yeah, you know, we could actually end up putting like 2 warehouses here in the future. One for ingoing, one for outgoing, or, you know, we kind of have that room. Now, the issue we would have is that we would then have to deal with what I'm about to do, which would be, I'm going to draw a footpath from like here to here. I'll make that one project, but then I'll attach that guy up there, and then we'll do another one from like here, like to there, right? So I have one coming out of here, and then they'll all be able to get there. These guys will, I don't even know if we need a footpath, but we could build one, right? And that would get one bus stop that we would then pull off of here. Now we could even, as this expands, put another bus stop somewhere in our city, which we probably should consider that. So let's finish this up. But then, when I was looking at the population that we have quite a few babies, and we have like 440 some children and babies. And when you think about that, that's all between 20 years and 0. Well, these people live to like say 80, right? Average lifespan. So that means there's only 100 and some people, right? 3 divided, like, that's 3 times as long, like, 60 more years from 20. That's, if we divided 3 into this, that's like 100 and some in each of the other age brackets, if that makes sense. So we have like quite a few people that are going to become, our population will eventually get growing here, and we'll be doing a lot better. So yeah, I think we're doing the right thing by slowing down a half a heartbeat and moving forward. I think we should also do the right thing by assigning that road, and we might as well assign that one for the moment. Yeah, we can assign this one. All right, so let's take this one and get rid of it, and then I think if we attach it up over here. But let's just do some roads for this. All right, so I'm thinking maybe we come like this, try to make it look a little nice. I don't know if that looks nice, but yeah, and then you could just come right off of there. I think that looks. And then we just have this guy come off of the main road. Yeah. I don't see us trying to force it around that way, because I'd rather leave that other space. We probably have it come off. I didn't really try. You know what? You can't. Oh, I didn't really want to delete that part of the infrastructure anyway, so I'm glad we didn't. Let's have him. Yeah, he's gonna run into this anyhow. Yeah, that was a wonderful spot. All right, so we'll just go right there. All right, so now we have roads connecting those things, and I think we need to get power over here. Now, we didn't mess with the power. Let's get an idea of how far our power currently extends, right? So there's our power right now. I don't think, no, we don't have any other, so you got to be careful, because if it's not fully on the screen. So we are covering these things, and the reason I say that is I would rather... oh, look, we can power up Lykov's house. I'm sure that's just what he wants, is electricity. Poor Lykov. Comes all the way out to the wilderness. Yeah, we could go a little further if we really wanted to, right? Well, let's not go... Well, no, because that other one should cover everything else. So let's just come out here. I don't know if that's the best thing to do in the world, but... Right, that should cover everybody else. Yeah, good. And then we'll go back to dirt roads. Let's bring a dirt road out. Just kind of in line straight with that. And then attach that guy up. And let's go with the medium voltage poles. And I don't like the crisscross, but we don't really have the money. So I'm not a big fan of like just crossing them like that. Normally I might get a little fancier. Yeah, let's run this just right down this road. Let's go until we can't. Stretch those poles out as far as you can. All right, so that should get us power into this area, and then we'll have... Well, I guess the next question would be, we have this clothing. Do we want... At this point, I don't think we're going to even build a warehouse. We'll see if we need it, right? Because we're not going to really... I think I've built warehouses for these before, but they're so unimpressive in their production per day that it's not that big a deal often to have a truck. And we could even maybe use another warehouse like we are this food warehouse, where we just, You know, we could ship all the clothes to this point, and then if some other store needs them, we can deal with it from there. But it's not like we have that many stores, that much money, or anything else to do all of this stuff. So, look, we're getting this done. Okay, so are there anything that the mechanisms can't handle? And that's where I will send our people to. In the meantime, we're just going to keep them making vodka to export to Germany and the other NATO countries, and the Soviet countries. All right, so let's come in here and let's commit to the roads. Let's commit to the electrical. So good. We didn't even have to shut off our power, which was, I didn't want to do that for too long. Especially not after we just got our thing going. So this one's going to need to be built with money. No. We could attach it up through here because we're going to have to get this one attached eventually. All right. Okay, good. Look, we can already start working on the biofuel plant. Excellent. All right. And I think I'm going to be a little bit focused on one thing at a time. So we'll get the connector done. And then, yeah, we'll see about supplying this. Yeah, before we build like warehouses here or anything, the other thing we might end up with is like another corn silo someplace over here. But we'll see. 2 clothing factories. We'll just build maybe this one first. Good. Very good. All right, so let's go check. Did we get an export out? You're going to the non-NATO. Let's go to our money. This is the 6th. Last month, nah, we haven't. We still haven't exported, but that guy's not sitting there, so he must be. Hopefully, he's not sitting here running out of fuel. Oh, there he is. Da-da-da. Oh, he doesn't have too much fuel either. Well, here's the big test. That's actually kind of a good thing. Because if they're too far away from a gas station... Oh, we have no money. All right, let's take care of that real quick. This is what I've been doing. And that's another thing I've gotten a fair number of comments about. And I wanted to point out a couple things that I don't think everybody was aware of. At least I know one person who definitely wasn't. They'll remain nameless, but probably knows who they are. And if you didn't know, and I didn't know about it, then it's not you. All right, so anyway, we're going to borrow another $1 million. But let's see, because we paid down to 749, right? But look, we didn't make a few days worth of payments because I was talking too much, which is one of the reasons I don't super fast forward, because things get out of hand very quickly, right? So what I'm going to come over here to do is, and I'm not sure what that therefore delayed payments means, right? Because watch what, this happened to me one time, not for this much money. And I don't know if this, I don't know if this is a cheat or if they'll probably adjust for it. Is it saying like, maybe, should that be up here, -12? So let's see, we have 749, right? Oh, we didn't borrow money yet. Yeah, let's go back out here. Right, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say borrow money. So we're going to borrow another loan. So we paid that much and we owe this much. So if we write this off now, right? Not quick here. All right, is that the right amount? We should have 250,000, but do they take that extra 12 off? Nah, they don't seem to have taken that extra 12 off. But let's keep an eye on what's going on with that. Like, because I'd also noticed this. I can't, it says 301, return money. I can't return that money. So let's just keep a close eye on this and see if it changes in a second when we start time back up. Like, does the next day, does that, I don't know how much this gets, you know, like we can see what happens if that drops by 12,000 and then this goes away. But I wanted to point something else out too. Well, yeah, see, look, it only says that. I think it's going to take that 12 out again. Because the last time this happened to me, it said like 1,000 and some, and then all of a sudden, like, the loan was completely gone when I went to open it up again. All right, well, we'll keep a close eye. There we go. Say, yep, it did it. It took the rest off. Owed 1. Can I just, yeah, get rid of that, thank you. But I wanted to point out before this disappears, this is the amount of interest that we paid for that loan was $7,000, right? 7,400, and we had it for almost 100 days. So you figure divide that, it's close to 90 days, 3 months. If we looked at that, we're at a little bit over $2,000 a month is what it's costing us to keep redoing this loan forever. So hopefully with our new strategy, we won't have to go any further into debt than the $1 million, though I think we might. So I'm not getting too excited. Oh, that's right. Let's go look at this guy. The ride through the woods of the Taga. Oh, did he already get done? No. Where is he at? Oh, he's on the... I thought it was more of a hill. I guess it's really not... I mean, it is a hill, but... All right, let's fast forward it now that we have money. We'll see. I just want to see if he makes it there. See, he's out of fuel, but he's still going. Sorry about all that. I got so excited I hit the wrong button. He was heading back to get fuel. That's what he was doing. Right? So now he's heading back up there, which is fine, right? I mean, that's not the greatest, but let's see when he gets in a complete normal cycle, right? Because the amount of fuel he had when he was sitting there before was not necessarily the same amount he's going to have when he comes back. And if the problem is they keep driving back to here so they don't run out, that's fair enough. The game probably should not... I mean, I understand why they have these trucks running empty, but they also have the trucks running empty because they don't anticipate fuel need for the whole route, right? Like it's only when they get below a certain amount does the truck look for the nearest station or something along those lines. It doesn't say, hey, look, I'm going 100, like you and I, if we were driving off into the mountains, we would go, I better fill up the tank first. These guys, not so much. So there we go. So there's our first export. And this is really a big deal in our survival because now we will be able to buy more than just American things. And at some point, I guess we need to talk about how do we pay off the American dollars. We're going to have like a dual economy counting on both dollars for a little bit longer than I normally do. But he's definitely going to make it, so I'm happy with that. And this guy is definitely down here. So let's go get this guy. All right, give him that route. This is our dumper. That's going to go get us some extra gravel. And once we get, oops, I just closed the other, probably the construction office I could have eyeballed back up to. So he's going to get us a little bit of extra gravel into here because this will probably take us a fair amount. So let's put this guy. So I'm going to leave these two guys up here. And let's definitely try to focus them on one thing or the other. So we should be off getting concrete now and asphalt. And did we get we got all our stuff in, I think. At least we got trucks sitting there, which is more than we had before. All right, and I'll keep an eye on this. And then the other thing we should probably consider, depending on how well we're doing, how are we doing on our educated as a country? Yeah, I don't know if we're doing great. I don't know why that would be. Is it because are we just kind of a little bit too far to get up there real well? Let's do a little something, and that would be let's plan on a couple more of these. And while I think it would be nice to put them over there, I think they might be a little bit better off. The shopping's all the way over here, but we can maybe get that shopping center and get some, and the hospital's on the other side. Let's just plan on this, and I'm sure we'll do it fairly soon. I think we're going to stick with this modded building here, right? And it's kind of, let me zoom out a little bit and look down and try to stay. Yeah, this where it says egg ham is pretty close to the middle, so I'll try to line this up with. Well, let's try to line it up a little bit so it looks half decent. We can leave a little space in between, not too much. Right, enough for footpaths, and then let's flip this guy around, and we'll do a similar kind. I don't think my circle's real straight either, so it's the debate is like, do I make it so they all point at the center, or to actually be? If I put them looking proper to the circle, it may be. It's kind of egg. That's why it's egg and ham, right? It's kind of egg shaped there. And so we put this guy here. And then we can share this road. That's plenty long enough. Alright, put that guy there, that guy there. Delete the road, and then I'm seeing some footpaths on the other side. Alright, we'd come up like this. Smelling a theme. Yeah, I don't know that there's any benefit to that, but then we do have this guy back here. We could start doing something like, you know, just for decoration. I mean, we're not going to get into too much decoration here. Maybe we just come to like there. Right, and then we could just right, like we could have like a walking path. Like that's a big. I don't know if that's a big thing, but it's becoming a thing in the United States where they just put in these like walking paths around these little communities. I don't know. It seems. I don't want to say dumb, but it's a little weird. I guess when I grew up, we just walked on the sidewalk, but now they need like walking paths. All right, so if we do this, can I go right to there? Yeah. Let's get rid of this little bit. All right, we'll leave that up for now. And then we want to get people to be able to come into here a little bit faster. All right, so if they're coming from over here, they can get there. Well, eventually we'll finish this off, but yeah, we want to... Right, and then we can work on this section, and that will get them into the theater maybe a little bit quicker whenever we build that. Nice. All right, so let's commit to all the footpaths and the roads. And how is our biofuel plant doing? We are waiting on a few more trucks as always, but we are working on the... See, and this is nice too. Like let this one... I'm really kind of relaxing now because I feel very comfortable about ramping up our production. If we're anything, yeah, this is going to cost us a little bit of money, but we're just going to get more and more production. We've got a nice set of babies, I hope, coming there, and 21-year-olds or under 21-year-olds that are getting educated for us right now. And we could build this at a lot lower cost. It's still going to be expensive, but... we got gravel. That's not really what I wanted to see. This is what I was hoping to look at. And let's close this. And yeah, so we'll tell them to do this and this because I do want to get working on those and this. And I'll give this a chance to be built. We also, yeah, this could be another building we start working on. And none of that stuff needs people. But we should also, well, you know, I'm just going to cool my tool and let's take a look at our people. So we have 118 in here and 138, so we could use more. Well, well, we could always use more, but we're definitely not at the point of overflowing. Let's see. This is what I've been doing. Is coming down here. I usually take them when they get to, like, leave 30 of them in here seems to be working, so I mess with success. This one had almost 0 in it at one point, so that's just a positive. I like to click on it and then close it every so often. Oh, look, we got 3 people living in here. That's good. Oh, 75. So I've usually been taking this guy down to about 50. All right, just to leave a few in each house. All right, so if we did 3 clicks on this one, all right, that one's the 138 one.
This one has now, and then we'll do one click out of this guy on this one. Right? And so that sort of, to some degree, evens those guys out. Well, actually, to a large degree, it evens them out. And it took a few more people that were, anybody down here is going to be the least productive. And one of the ways I've been able to tell is, look, we only have 5 unemployed workers, which is pretty good, darn good. If you've ever played this game, to have 5 unemployed workers is I don't remember ever seeing that number when I'm, approaching 900 people. I mean, I usually have, hundreds, if not thousands, of unemployed. This is what I'm used to looking at. So there we go. So I guess I'll pause it for a minute. I don't know. I have too much more to say, but we'll get, let me get some of this construction done. Do we want to do some research? Maybe we'll just we're not going to do anything. The chemistry we would do at some point, but I'd really like to get the oil going before we do that. And, with the engineering, yeah, that's a good thing to get too. But, there is a thought too. Do we just make our own mechanical components? That might actually be a better thing to do with this town in thinking about it. Let's look at the finances of that real quick. So if we come up there and say, well, and it's about 1.5 steel you need for the mechanical components. I remember looking that up as part of figuring out, would it really make a lot of sense to make our own mechanical components with our steel mill here? I was picturing it like right there where it still may go. Then again, we do have the bus stop up here. We could put it up here. But in any event, so it's like 1.5 we would need. So we would have to buy steel at 6, it's a little bit less than 1.5, 669. So I'd say half of that would be about 300, right? So it'd be 969. And, again, there's a little more, a little less, $969, and we could sell the stuff for $1,160. So it certainly might be better just to build the mechanical components, because that would be more profitable per ton than the steel itself would be. All right, so we'll think about that. It's a different approach, and maybe it has me thinking that we do that for other things, right? Like, yeah, we do plastics and we just purchase the oil, and maybe that's, we'll take a look at each one. What's the other ones that we could do? Well, meat, we can get into meat rather sooner than later, just as the money allows and the number of people allows. And because we already have the one thing. So fuel, I mean, we could make our own fuel, just buy the oil, right? What does the oil cost? $44. So, but we'll see if there's, and then the other big one I was looking at, electronics. Why can't we just start making our own electronics and buy the electrical components or whatever else we want, right? We could expand it from the reverse direction in a sense, instead of trying to get all the parts and pieces together. Now, the problem with that, I think, is if you start, the further you get away from the borders, the more it costs you. And I didn't really just account for that. So let me come back when we are about to try to make our own biofuel, which will be a little ways off, because I still have to get these electrical lines going. But at least we're there where we can start working on them. And we'll get this bus stop going, and then eventually, I'll just keep completing things as is logical, but I'll come back when this is ready to go. All right, see you guys in a minute. Okay, we're back again. The biofuel plant's done, and we are 74% towards getting power. Kind of fell asleep at the wheel when it came to the power. I was watching monkeys fighting because the coronavirus scared all the people away from the temple, and apparently these people feed people at the temple, and since they're not feeding the monkeys anymore, they're now attacking each other. The monkeys invaded the city monkeys, so the temple monkeys went in and attacked the city monkeys. Never expected that from the coronavirus, but there you go. So hopefully we all make it through it, including the monkeys. I don't know if the monkeys can get the coronavirus, but in any event, here we are. We have a biofuel plant. So we got some crops in there. We need to get some people over here. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to keep up with just this one truck delivering, but we can remedy that one way or the other. And we also need to probably talk about the buses and getting people over here. So what I'm thinking of doing I really don't like the way they handle this, but and I guess you can't shift and do it faster. I don't know. Let's take this down because we're doing okay with the food. So I'm thinking rather than even adjust the bus, we're going to limit the number of people that we have go to these industries. Now, I did see this up to 60 at one point, but let's put this to 50. And I just want to see if I can't work this out or if it's just too micromanagey for my taste. We're going to have them come to here. Wow, you know what? We could have them come to here first. Right? And then come to here. Because there's only going to be a certain number of people that need to go to there. To go to here, right? And there's only one place for them to go. And at this point, yeah, why not 25, right? So if we have 25 people in there, they should only drop off, like at this stop, a certain amount, and then they'll drop the rest off over here. And then why don't we just, I don't know, we'll make that 25. Though it doesn't matter if it's the last stop, right? It would only be the first stop that we might limit. So let's just not, we'll just stop that. That was a better idea I had in mid-flight. You always want your pilot in mid-flight. If he comes up with a better idea, you know, go with it, buddy, you know? So there we go. I'm full of better ideas. Just doing this whole thing. I feel a lot better about going into a lot less debt. You know, because I was thinking if we went into that debt, yeah, steel is a great thing to get. But at the same time, yeah. So let's see. So that's, we only did one bus, huh? This one. And then we have this one. Yeah, they're kind of, I hate that they're always going to be back to back, but there's just not too much you can do about that. So let's just see what happens. We have 39 workers in this bus. So I'm curious to see how many he drops off right at this stop. And then the second guy theoretically shouldn't drop off any. So yeah, let's get him open too off to the side. There's the first one. There's the second one. All right. And then what else do we need to do? Well, we'll get on the, we'll get on this, you know, this truck. Oh, are you going to get, of course you're going to get fuel. That's all right. I mean, this one's almost full. That'll spread them out a little further, I hope, right? All right, since you're going to get fuel, let's speed it up a bit. Oh, you're, wait a minute, what? Oh, he still went to that other stop, but he didn't drop off any people? I don't know. I'm really confused. Look, this one's small, and this one's small too, but it's like, oh, there he goes. Now he went back to that one again. That was a little weird. Then I missed this one because we're going time fast forward too much. And he comes over here and doesn't drop anybody off. So we should have at least, and we only have 9 people over here. I'm really kind of confused as to what just happened there, but I wasn't paying enough attention. Did you lose your people? Because, okay, well now we got 35 people. So we want, you should be going on the right path, right? Let's do it this way this time. And the theory is that you only need 25 people here, so you should drop off, well, minus whoever's working, less, you know, we should have at least 10 when you get done this stop. All right? And you drop them all off, and they're going into work at the darn. Okay, well, at least we now know. Which is fine. I get those things done, but really, you know, that wasn't quite what I wanted to have happen there. All right, let's try it again, right? That's good thing about this. We get unlimited tries. Yeah. All right, so now that we're making biofuel, the other thing we need to get, here, let's slow down things. Let's come over to here, and this is where it really feels good to have a couple rubles coming in. Don't need a lot. We need to get an oil tank. Yeah, I think at this point, let's see. This guy, I know I tend to buy a lot because he holds, it's almost universal. Now there might be some mods Yeah, this guy holds a good amount, but then, yeah, I think 30. Then you look at the engine power, which is like how much they use, and this guy is going to be more efficient. Now, this guy doesn't hold as much, even though it looks like he should. And then what's on page 2? Yeah, I'm going to go with this one. I think it seems like it would make the most sense. And I'm thinking 2 of them. Well, let's do 3. We're going to go for it. We might want to increase our export. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll export some of this fuel to the thing. So what I want this guy to do, right, we'll have, let's just open these. We don't need that other thing open. Oh, we're down to $5,000. Goes. And I did, when I was watching the monkeys, or whatever else I was doing, I did let the loan expire like I did the last time, but it doesn't seem to harm us that much, right? So now this time, and see, this is the gauge. If I were to borrow, I'm gonna have to repay. We're down to only 834, right? So let's just keep going like this if I can, because if I can not borrow more than $1 million and start paying some of it off, I would like to do that. All right, so we're going to make this 834, 154. Good. Return the money. All right, so now we have $170,000. Now, the other reason I'm not as worried about that as you might think is because let's just look at last month. No, that really didn't change that much from what I remember seeing. But we were minus 20,000, but that's deceptive because we've been buying a lot of stuff. We really don't have that many more expenses than we did the last time we talked about this. But 20,000 this year, yeah, it seems like we didn't get much out very recently for some reason. But then we've taken some of our people away from the thing to do construction. But 38,000, and if you think about that, half of that was last month. So maybe it is like a lot bigger number than I'm thinking. Now we're only in March, so I guess that does make sense, right? So 19,000 a month. Let's see if that goes up. I would have expected it to go up more than that. But anyway, here we go. All right, let's play time forward. Yeah, there we go. So now what do we do here? Do we have people left in there? No. Now let's see this one. Don't drop anybody off. You drop people off. I don't think we need them here. Well, maybe we do. All right. Well, anyway, since we're getting this on the go, let's just get all of these their initial stop. All right. And what I'm thinking of is, why don't we have that guy unload there, and then just go right up to here and unload fuel. All right, we'll just have him running a loop for now, but he'll supply our one gas station there. Now, really what I should probably do, load and wait. All right, so you can get started. Really what I should do, how much does this gas station hold? 70 tons. Yeah, let's take this guy off of here. And then we're just going to have them wait at both places. And if we decide to export, then we will. But in the meantime, he'll just fill that gas station up anyway. Maybe, yeah, that might be. Same thing we have. Yeah, that's the only gas station over here. But then we have the gas station over here. So what we'll do, and this would definitely be this one I think I might just unload fuel and wait. Right, and we'll just have this one steady. Do we have another gas station? No, that's the only one. Oh, no, we have this one. This is going to use a lot less fuel. Well, I don't know if it will or not. Yeah, let's do that a little different. We'll have them. I'll have to keep an eye on this. All right, we're going to have him wait at this one, but not at that one. So he'll come by here, drop off fuel, and then he'll come over to here and sit there and wait. Right? So you can get started. And then the last one, right, they're going to come up and we're going to send them down this road. You're going to top that tank off. How much does this hold? Yeah, so I think I might just micromanage this a little bit between the episodes. So you can get started too. Are you waiting here? Load fuel. Why don't we make sure they load fuel? And wait. All right. And then the bottom one. Fuel and wait. Okay, good. Unload fuel. Yeah, you know, I think I will have him wait. And then this one's the middle one. Yeah, I don't mind if he drives that extra little bit. Like, I don't have to worry about him. But this one, let's get him to fill this one up. And then we'll get him to fill this one up. And that way he's not, like, driving all the way over there for no reason. Now, speaking of driving around, I also went and followed one of our flatbed trucks over to here to see how much fuel he used. Like this one, like, per se. I don't know which one it was. But he used, my measurements weren't exactly accurate, but he used less than 200, probably more like 150 fuel to get from this construction office over to there. And then, like, if we did that times 2, it would be like 300. Well, if we take a look at our finances here, the fuel, which now just became a lot cheaper in a way, right? The fuel cost, even if you had to pay for the fuel, would be 171 rubles. And that means that would be like 0.3 of that, right? So you're talking a couple hundred, right? Or not even a couple hundred. You're talking like $30. Here, you know what? I'll do the math since I'm on YouTube. 171 times 0.3. 51. So you're talking about, like, you know, 51 rubles. And in the same time, he carries 10. And the difference in the price from this station to that one over there is like 25 or so. So that's 250 rubles or whatever, dollars. You know, we're saving 5 times as much by having them drive over there. Now, it does slow our construction down a little bit. But considering that I'm waiting for people, oh my gosh, look at that. We might need to... we got a new project priority, I bet. Let's get over here and get them doing this. Our population's approaching 1,000. Yeah, so is this guy ready to go? No, not at all. So I'll just let this crew go so that way we don't waste the people. But let's go take a look at our people now that we're... Yeah, 43. But, you know, let's see. I don't want to completely fill up over there. Yeah, that guy didn't get too many more. Like I said, I click him. Yeah, that guy is okay. Yeah, this is okay. I don't know. I'm a little excited for nothing, I think. But maybe we got more babies. Let me go look in a minute. So we got what? Oh, look at that. We're almost full. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave it be until we build this house. So that way we don't end up with plus 21s over here. Now, it takes a while to get to plus 21s, but it can happen. Good, though. Yeah, let's take a look. Do we have... Oh, yeah, look, we have like 510 babies. Nice. And we only have 470 people. So we're definitely looking towards a growth in our population, which is great because, you know, we'll have some new jobs for them, right? Now, how is this whole little mess working out? Well, our fuel thing is not. Is there a particular reason... Did our fuel trucks even get over here? Did our fuel trucks already go by and get fuel? No, where are you guys? Yeah, you went to get fuel up there. I didn't mean that way of getting fuel. That's relatively close. Yeah, no, they didn't get here yet, so I was just wondering if this thing's filled up already. Yeah, 23 workers. I'm very happy about that. But fuel is not our greatest export. And do we have anybody working in here? Yeah, we are getting people over to here. So this might be working. But I'm thinking now what I do... Let's just... Like, we're better off doing the alcohol if we only have a limited number. So let's take that down to 15. Right, we'll see how it works. You know, and eventually, sometime in the next episode or... You know, I think we'll come back to fire up our clothing in the next episode. This has been a pretty good episode if you think about it, as far as getting to the border and We might have to increase that a little bit here as time goes on. But if this is going to produce that much more, we may well go ahead and take it and export some of this stuff a little bit more quickly. And we do have a few more trucks over here, but you can see once I slowed down the number of people, it took a hit in a sense. And then the food is doing okay as well. So I think we're in pretty darn good shape. I think I'm pretty close to calling it an episode. Like I said, it won't be too long before I come back and we'll fire up the clothing. I don't think there's anything in particular. Well, we can assign... Well, we'll get this brick building going, right? That'll be a nice thing. Clothing factory. Yeah, it would be better to actually assign this guy to this as opposed to the other guy. And then, yeah, they're probably far along. They're far enough along with these two. I don't like to schedule too much of the same type of thing. It just gets everybody running around like madmen, and nobody seems to do it particularly well. So I will micromanage our little fuel trucks here. Do we have one sitting there? That would be nice. I can't really see them. Yeah, we got one sitting in there. Good. Oh, this guy's already back. Okay, well, when they start running to the border, that'll be a different thing, too. But it'll be nice. We'll see. Let's just close some stuff and say goodbye. But let's just take a quick look. This year... Western countries, import. So there's our fuel curve. It already dropped down a fair amount. I don't know if that's not true because it doesn't. But I don't see the number going up right this minute, right? So hopefully we'll stay ahead, right? How much do we have here? Yeah, see, they're not. That guy, we used our own fuel to fill that bus back up. That's excellent. And then there we go. We got 2 trucks waiting in there. So I'll micromanage that. I might up the number of people again if it seems to make sense. But we still need to make money with our distillery. But hey, look, we're almost up to 1,000 population. Probably by the next episode we'll get there. So that's absolutely wonderful. Makes me happy. So yeah, this was a lot less painful. We didn't even have to take out any more loan than we've been taking out. And that's a real good sign to get that loan paid down. I don't want to be in a situation of loans. And I feel like at this point, once we get all of this up and going, it may be a long grind in order to get to the point where we're, paid that loan off. But at the same time, I don't think we're in fear of dying like we were 3 or 4 or 5 episodes ago. I truly think we're going to survive through this. Well, like I said, with the pain being that, we have to pay that loan back, and it's going to slow it down as we pay it back. But there's no reason I can't sit there and just keep payback, right? And then just keep doing the things we want to do and just try to whittle it down over time, but not stop what we're doing in the meantime. Just keep going like we are. And hopefully we can pay it down over time and still make a lot, good amount of progress. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe and healthy. I don't normally throw that in, but I guess it's all part of the same thing. And I hope you have a good day. Take care of yourself. Bye.